Here we are. Here we are. And here we are. Thank you, John. Here we are again celebrating here on this wonderful Sunday. Thank you for being here, every one of you. And hi, Deb. We can't see Deb, but Deb's there. And again, thank you so very much for being here today. I will be talking, I'm the speaker today. I'll be talking about live your dream. Live your dream. And so again, just a quick report. Diane is doing very well. And she said she would join us, but again, probably there's a therapy. They actually do therapy on Sundays. So she's probably either sleeping or doing therapy. But again, giving her a Sunday off. So again, it's really good to see everyone today on this beautiful July day. And I read now from Science of Mind 365 for July 26. It says, "I live in the life of God." I live in the life of God. From the Gospel of John, it says, "It is the Spirit that quickeneth." And it says, all life is one life. Just as every physical substance known derives from one universal energy. So there is but one life principle, which is God, which is what we all live and from which the infinite source of our individual lives are drawn. If this one life is present everywhere, it's also within us. To say that the life of God is the only life that there is means that my life is not only in God and of God and from God, it is God in and through me. If this were not true, I would have a life separate from God, which is unthinkable and impossible. But if it's true that the life of God is my life now, how wrongly I must have been thinking about this life. I have judged it falsely and condemned it unnecessarily. And in every way, shape, and manner, in my ignorance, I have denied the very thing I should be affirming. There is only one life. That life is God, and that life is my life now. In God, I live and I move and I have my being, and God lives in me and moves through me. I deny then that there's any life separate from good. And I affirm that every organ, action, and function of my physical body is animated by the divine life that created and sustained it. It is this life that is circulating through me now in happiness and harmony and with perfect rhythm. I am now one with the whole, and therefore I say to my mind, you are to live and think and feel this truth until it is spontaneous and natural. And when you say God is my life, you are to know that the entire life of the divine and perfect presence is now flowing through you. I affirm this today that the life of God is the only life that there is. And that life is my life now, complete and perfect. Science of Mind 365. Let's go into a time of meditation. John will be taking us into our time of silence, and then Carol Ann will be doing our meditation today. So, thank you. Living so it is. We are
we are peace. So it is. I am life. So it is. We are life. So it is.
As we gently close our eyes, put your hand on your heart and gently breathe in that beautiful life of God, living from the life of God. We allow ourselves to go deeper, deeper into that life, into that place of being, that place of oneness. And we know, at least I think we know, on some level we do, that there really is only one presence. There's only one power. There's only one life. And the more that we accept that, the more that we live that one life, the more our lives change for the better. So take your breath in, having the cool air coming in and the warm air going out, and being one with that breath. And allow it just for a few minutes to take you deeper, deeper than you've ever gone before. And there's no effort here. It's just allowing yourself to go deeper. That presence, that power is with you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It never leaves. It is always there waiting. It's waiting for you to turn within. It's waiting for you to step back from that monkey mind and just allow yourself to go deeper. And whatever our challenges are, they can seem very big at the time. They can be big ones. There can be small ones. And sometimes it feels like, oh, it's just one challenge after another. But then, what then when we stop for that instance and say, wait, all of these can be solved simply by stepping back behind our mind and going into that mind of God, that life of God. And everything, whether it is a big problem or a little problem, everything seems to take on a different energy. We begin to see the light at the end of the tunnel. We begin to know what steps we need to take. It's all very gentle, without any effort. It is the Father's good pleasure. It is the Father's good pleasure to give us the kingdom. And He is waiting. He is waiting. The energy is waiting for you to simply turn. That simple little act of turning and taking a breath, of stopping, is the most powerful thing that we can do. Stopping, taking a breath, and then simply breathing with that cool air coming in and the warm air going out, and allowing that presence and power to fill every muscle, every fiber, every system of our body. And as it fills our body, it responds even more as we stop and listen. It is with great gratitude that we can say thank you. Thank you for the presence that is always there to guide me. Thank you for the ability to connect in a breath. It's not hard, it's not difficult. We just have to take that breath. For that power, that presence is there leading us and guiding us and directing us. And it is so with that knowingness, we simply right now say thank you. Thank you for the power and presence. Thank you for the ability to touch and live a greater spiritual life. And we give great thanks for that. And we simply say thank you. And so it is.
Love so we are love so we are aware. So
Okay, let's take a deep breath in, inhale, and exhale. Open your camera now if you can. We can see the beautiful light of God in your eyes, and Kyle and John and Carol Ann. I see you too, Deb. See the beautiful light of God in you too. And Hannah, I see the light of God in you through your eyes. Yes. Okay, really good. Let me minimize my screen here. Take this off. There you go. And put that back on. Well, hello there. Good morning. Welcome to, again, our lesson time. And today I'll be talking about live your dream. Live your dream. I remember 10 years ago what it was like to go back to school at 57 years old or years young. Now, you know, when you're 18 and you start college, everyone's telling you, oh, it's great, how wonderful it is. Your whole life's ahead of you. Now, you're beginning an adventure, right? Okay, so when you're 57, though, people have slightly different questions. Like, are you sure you want to do this? And do you know how long it's going to take? And perhaps the most dangerous question of all, how old will you be when you finish? Well, the same age I'll be if I don't do it. There comes a moment when a dream asks something more of us than just admiration. It asks from us a decision. because we can spend years thinking about the life we might live, the thing we might create, the person that we might become. And there's two words that can either be wonderfully hopeful or incredibly dangerous. Those two words are someday I'll. Someday I'll. Someday I'll write the book. Someday I'll take that trip. Someday I'll change careers. Someday I'll forgive. Someday I'll start taking care of myself. Someday I'll go back to school. Someday I'll answer that calling that keeps tugging at me. Someday I'll become the person I know I can be. And I want to be real clear. There's nothing wrong with dreaming about someday. Every new creation begins with an idea. In the beginning was the Word. Every achievement begins as a possibility. Every change in our life begins somewhere in consciousness before it becomes visible in experience. But there is a challenge, though, in someday. Someday never appears on the calendar. Now, Monday does. 2 days does. July does. 2026 does. But you'll never wake up, look at your phone, and see, good morning, today is someday. At some point, if the dream is going to become our life, we have to stop waiting for someday. We have to start living it now. And that's what I want to spend some time with you talking today about. So the first step here in living your dream is to see it. In the general summary of the Science of Mind textbook, Dr. Ernest Holmes writes, if one were to make a complete mental picture of himself or herself as they would like to be, filling in all the details of their desire, and trying to accept the whole thing as a present reality, they would soon demonstrate that the control of affairs is from within out and not from without. So notice now where Dr. Holmes begins here. Not with circumstances, not with money, not with connections, not with whether other people approve, not even with whether we know exactly how the dream is going to happen. Holmes begins with consciousness. Consciousness. He says that the movement is from within out and not from without. Now, that is one of the foundational ideas of New Thought, is this, that our experience of life is profoundly affected by the consciousness that we bring to it. I'll read it again. Our experience of life is profoundly affected by the consciousness that we bring to it. The Holy Scriptures in all traditions understood something about the power of vision. In Habakkuk, we read from the Old Testament, write the vision, make it plain. There's something powerful about becoming clear about your vision. What do you see for your life? Not only what do you want to possess, but what do you see yourself becoming? What quality of life is calling you? What greater expression of love? What greater expression of creativity? What greater expression of service? What greater expression of joy? And what greater expression of God? So sometimes you and I, we become so occupied with the conditions of our lives that we forget to ask, what is trying to emerge through our lives. So we look at what is, and we assume that what is determines what can be. We look at things like our age, our bank account, we look at our education, we look at our history, we look at all the mistakes that we've made, we look at somebody told us 20 years ago about what we could or could not do, and then we build tomorrow out of yesterday. But spirit God life is not limited by our yesterday. The divine presence within is forever creative. The question is not simply, what do I want from life? Maybe the deeper question is this: what is God seeking to express as my life? What is God seeking to express as my life? What if the dream that keeps returning to you is not merely something that you just invented? What if some dreams are invitations? What if that persistent inner knowing, that sense that there is more love to give, more creativity to express, more good to accomplish, is life itself calling us into greater expression? So first, we have to see it before it becomes outer reality. But seeing is only the beginning. The second step here is to accept it. Ernest Holmes continues with some of the strongest language in the passage from the general summary. He says, when we treat, we do not wish. We know. The word know is in capital letters. We do not dream. We state. State is in capital letters. We do not hope. We accept. Accept is in capital letters. Now, that's a very different consciousness from wishing. Wishing says, oh, you know what? That'd be really nice. Acceptance is this: this possibility belongs to me. This possibility belongs to me. Wishing keeps the good somewhere in the future. Acceptance, though, begins to establish it in consciousness now. Jesus said in Mark 11:24, a very familiar verse to those of you who listen to me on Sunday mornings. It says, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you've already received it and it will be yours. Again, notice the tense. Believe that you have already received it like a gift. Jesus does not say, spend the next several years worrying about whether God has heard you. He points us to a consciousness of acceptance. Now, we have to be real careful here. This does not mean that if I picture a red sports car with sufficient concentration, that one will mysteriously materialize in my driveway by Tuesday. Now, if the car does arrive, please call me. I would like to examine your prayer technique. The teaching is much greater and much deeper than getting stuff. And I think that was the challenge when Rhonda Byrne put out her movie, The Secret. She taught about getting stuff, but she did not talk about the deeper parts of New Thought, which is having that connection to the all that is. Again, this teaching is much deeper than having all the goodies. Prayer changes consciousness. prayer changes consciousness. Spiritual mind treatment establishes within us the awareness of a spiritual reality that may not yet be visible in external conditions. So I may see lack with my physical eyes, but I can know that the nature of spirit is abundance. I may see conflict, but I know and can know that the nature of spirit is harmony. I may feel afraid, but I can know that the presence within me is greater than the fear moving through me. And I may not see the path forward, but I can know that the divine intelligence is present where I am, right here, right now. And this is not denial of the condition. It's not pretending. It's not painting a smile over pain. It is choosing which reality will have the final word in our consciousness. So Paul writes in Romans, be transformed by the renewing of your minds. He does not say, be transformed when everything in your outer world changes. He does not say, be transformed when circumstances cooperate. Transformation begins with the renewing of the mind from within out, from within out. And perhaps this is where many dreams die. We can see them, we can talk about them, we can even pray about them. But somewhere inside, we have not accepted that they are possible for us. We believe good is possible, just not for me. We believe people can change, just not me. And we believe people can begin again, but just not at my age. We believe that God is limitless and then quietly create a list of reasons why the divine has limited options in our particular case. At some point, faith asks us to release the argument for our limitation. Not because we know every step, not because there will be no stepping stones or challenges or difficulties, but because we know something greater than the difficulty. We know the nature of the power within us. So our third step here of living the dream is to embody it. Now, this is where Dr. Holmes makes a very important distinction that many New Thought / Science of Mind / Unity / Divine Science students do not get. He warns us to distinguish daydreaming and wishing and just thinking about it from really dynamic and creative treatment. So that word embody really matters here. It's not enough to see the dream. It's not enough to say the affirmation. It's not enough to do your vision board. At some point, the consciousness that we claim has to become the consciousness that we live from. The consciousness we claim has to become the consciousness that we live from. So if I affirm abundance every morning, but then spend the rest of my day telling everyone how hopeless life is, so what am I embodying? If I affirm that divine love is manifest in my life and I maintain a carefully curated list of resentments, and some of us, believe me, have collector's editions in the deluxe edition, what am I embodying? Or if I say that Spirit is guiding me into a new possibility, but every time a door opens, I say, oh, I could never do that. What am I embodying? So there must come a point where the inner vision begins changing the way that we show up. This is why faith is not passive. Spiritual mind treatment, by the way, is not a substitute for action. It establishes, though, the consciousness from which right action emerges. So there's an old New Thought principle that says that prayer moves our feet. My Science of Mind teachers and instructors taught me to treat and to move my feet. So if I pray for a new opportunity, perhaps, just maybe, I need to submit the application. If I pray for reconciliation, perhaps I need to make the phone call. If I pray for a new direction, well, perhaps maybe that I need to take the class. If I pray for greater expression, perhaps I need to risk being seen. If I pray for change, perhaps I have to stop rehearsing the identity that belongs to the old life. So we begin to ask this question: if I truly believed this prayer, how would I live today? If I truly believed this prayer, how would I live today? Again, not next year, not when all the conditions are perfect. Today. If I knew that I were guided, what would I do? If I knew that I was supported by an infinite presence, what steps would I take? If I knew that I was worthy of love, what boundary would I establish? If I knew that there were enough, how generous could we live? If I knew that God wasn't finished with me, what possibility would I stop dismissing? That is embodiment. We begin living from the consciousness of answered prayer before all the external evidence has arrived. And that's what I did with a lot of major things in my life, including getting into radio and also becoming a minister, is that I took into my everyday life being a disc jockey, being a minister. So our last step here is live it. See it, accept it, embody it, and then live it. Perhaps the dream was never meant to remain a dream, and it was meant to become a life. So there's a wonderful irony in all of this for me. So at 57, I went back to school. Now, there's probably easier ages to do that. At 57, you've accumulated enough wisdom to know what you want and enough experience to know exactly how much work it's going to take. But there was something in me that knew. So I went back and I earned an accredited master's degree. And then after licensure, then came 3 more years of ministerial preparation, a ministerial mentor, a sponsoring minister, annual reports, requirements, more requirements. And apparently, whenever someone at the home office of Centers for Spiritual Living thought, well, surely we have enough requirements, someone else says, I think we can find one more. And believe me, they did in AI this year. But I kept going. And recently, after that long journey, last Wednesday, I finally became an ordained minister of religious science. And I share that not to simply celebrate the accomplishment, although I am certainly celebrating it. I share it because there was a time when all of that existed only as a possibility. There was a time in which I could say, well, listen, I'm 57. It's too late. That'll take years. Well, that's a lot of school, and it is, believe me. There's too many hoops, maybe someday. And if I had kept it in someday might still be where it lived. But eventually, the dream required something from me. It required a yes, and then another yes, and then another, and quite a few annual reports, 15 to 20 pages every year. And here is perhaps the best part. After finally becoming ordained last Wednesday, my sponsoring minister congratulated me. And then he said this: now get back to work. And I thought, yeah, of course, because ordination was never the end of the dream. It was the beginning of living it. And maybe that is what Spirit says to each and every one of us when we finally say yes to life and to the life that's calling us from within. Wonderful. Now get back to work. Now live it. So I want to ask you this morning. So what dream have you placed in someday? Maybe it is something enormous. Maybe it's something very simple. Maybe your dream is not about a career or a degree or a great accomplishment. Maybe your dream is inner peace. Maybe it's healing an old relationship. Maybe it's creating something. Maybe it's serving in a new way. Maybe it's finally allowing yourself to experience joy without apologizing for it. Maybe it's becoming the person that you have sensed within yourself for years. So what would happen if today that you stopped saying someday? What if you saw the possibility clearly? What if you accepted that the same divine life expressing through every person who has ever done something courageous is expressing through you? What if you stopped asking the conditions for permission? What if you began embodying the consciousness of the person that you are becoming? What would you do differently tomorrow morning? Because faith does not mean knowing the whole road. Again, our friend Habakkuk says, for there is still a vision for the appointed time. So the vision unfolds. The road reveals itself. The next step appears. The next door opens. For me, it's when the finances ran out. It was the scholarships that I received from the Hefferland Foundation. You do not have to know how every chapter is written before you begin the book. You simply have to be willing to live the chapter that is yours today. So again, see it, accept it, embody it, and live it. So to see your dream, see it clearly, not as an escape from your life, but as a greater expression of the life through you. Accept it. Stop arguing for why the divine possibility belongs to everybody except you. Embody it. Ask what you would think, say, choose, or do today if you truly believed your prayer. And then live it. Take the step, make the call, write the first page, enroll in the class, forgive, create, serve, begin. So perhaps our question today is no longer, when will my dream come true? Perhaps our question today, as I conclude, is, when will I begin living from the truth that makes the dream possible? When will you begin living from the truth that makes your dream possible? And the answer is not someday. It's today. It's see it, accept it, embody it, and live it. Again, take the next step, make the call, write the first page, begin. And when you finally arrive at the place that you only once dreamed of reaching, celebrate it, give thanks, look back for a moment and honor every yes that brought you there. And then listen very closely, because I have discovered that Spirit has a wonderful way of greeting us when the dream becomes our life. So I'll say the words that my sponsoring minister said to me last Wednesday. He said, "Congratulations. Now get back to work." Namaste. I salute the divine as you. Okay.
Wonderful.
Any comments?
Well, that's good inspirational thinking. We all need to make some progress in this life. That's what we came here for.
The first action to take is the consciousness, is to, I don't know how to explain it, but it starts in consciousness, and then you let things evolve. Let the universe bring the next step.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Deb.
You can't get ahead if you're falling behind.
Huh? All
I
right.
really deeply appreciated when you talked about the experiencing affected by the consciousness that we bring. That and when you really get that, how we experience things is affected by that. It begins to shift and change things, and for me, always causes the deeper realization. Because if my consciousness is not one of openness and gratitude, guess what? I'm not going to run into problems. I'm going to have challenges. And the moment I see them, what do? I immediately have come to the point where I immediately take a breath and get myself back into alignment. And it doesn't matter how long we can be down. It only takes a breath and a turn of the head to shift us back. It's that simple. And I think the problem is it's so simple that we can't think of can possibly work. And we can listen to other people's stories and how they did this and this and this. And I find after I have done my prayer work, done my treatment work, then my next question is, okay, what is the first step I can take? Rather than saying, okay, it's up to you to show me, the question becomes, what is the first step that I can take? And when I say that, I find that I'm actually stepping back into consciousness, and what comes to me is actually coming in like this, and it could be something very simple. As simple as, gee, I need to call so and so, or gee, I need to be doing this. And it's that first action is what starts the momentum. It's like putting your foot on the gas pedal. It starts slowly, and if you keep pressing on the pedal, it starts revving up, and you start going faster and faster. So, it's time to put our foot on the gas pedal. But turn on the engine first, of course. Really, be an acceptance, but then go ahead and start.
Thank you, Carol Ann.
There's an old expression that says that the longest journey starts with the first step, and that's exactly what it is.
All right. Thank you. Anyone else today? All right. Well, thank you again for allowing me to give the message. And now, here he is, John David Miller, with a wonderful song.
There is a power in everything, creative force, intelligent and wise. Like clouds block the sun from our view, there is a light that we cannot see with our eyes. One power is forever being present here and everywhere, living, changing, and creating, loving and aware. What to say, what to do, how to be, where to go. There is an underlying question, who is or where to know. One power is forever being present here and everywhere, living, changing, and creating, loving and aware. Knowing, acting, living well, being what there is to be. One power is creative and active, presenting all we see. One power is forever being present here and everywhere, living, changing, and creating, loving and aware.
Thank you, John. That was outstanding. Love your music. Just really puts me in another place here. So again, thank you. All right. So it's time in our service to give. And again, we've received freely so that we give freely. So again, if you'd like to give here, again, it's you can send us a check to 1199 Lexington Avenue, Akron, Ohio, 44310. You can put Summit on it, Summit CSL, Summit Center. The bank doesn't care as long as the word Summit is on there. And also, if you'd like to do it electronically, sscofakron@gmail.com. That is our address for either PayPal or Zelle, sscofakron@gmail.com. So take your gift in your hand, right top over left, as we just take a moment to be grateful, just to experience gratitude for everything, and to be grateful for the gift, and to know that all that we have, all that we give, all that we receive is blessed in a very sacred manner as we act from our divinity here, and know that the divine is always giving. And so we now give, not to receive, but to know that, again, that as we give, the universe naturally gives back to us. So we give with hearts filled with a great attitude, with gratitude. And we say, thank you. Thank you, Infinite Spirit. Thank you for Summit Center for Spiritual Living. Thank you for us meeting every Sunday. Thank you for the support that we have. And thank you for each other. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. All right, John.
Good and more good is mine, and ever increasing good is mine. Unlimited, infinite good is mine. Wherever I go, I see good. Whatever I do, I feel oh so good. I'm worthy and entitled to good and more good. It crowds itself upon us, wraps itself around us. We give ourselves permission to accept more good, express more good. Oh, good and more good is ours, and ever increasing good is ours. Thank you, Spirit, and so it is.
So now it's time for announcements, but hold on. I have breaking news. Carol Ann Drick has breaking news.
Yes, I do. Today, I'm a great-grandmother. Little boy, 6 pounds, 15 ounces, and was born at 7:43 this morning. I don't know what that means. I've never been a great-grandmother before in this lifetime, so it's going to be a time.
You're already a great grandmother.
Yeah.
So it's just a tiny little step on to be a great.
That's right. That's right. It's one more thing in the basket of being a great grandmother.
Well, how wonderful. Thank you, Carol Ann. So Diana is in the rehab facility again, and I just wanted to read a note. She says, I miss seeing everyone this morning. Give them a virtual hug from me. And she says, I've been dealing with a lot of pain today. So we just now know, we know that where the pain is, God is, and all is well. And again, the good news this week is the day after her surgery, I passed my ordination panels. So thank you to everyone. So people have been asking me, well, how are you going to celebrate? Well, the celebration has already begun, but the formal ceremony will be held at Unity Village on the first week of October. So I'll be getting you more information. That will be live streamed. So that'll be again, so you guys will be able to share in that. And I guess that Deb and Diana are putting together something for later in the month of October, early November. So again, thank you to everyone. It takes a team here, and I really appreciate all of you of really achieving a lifetime goal, which is to become an ordained minister of religious science. So again, thank you guys so very, very much for all your love and support. Okay, John David Miller, what exciting things are you doing?
Well, I'm taking care of these little kitties and treating their eyes with colloidal silver and feeding them and petting them and so on. And besides that, I do my blog at yeswise.com or at Yeswise channel on YouTube, and my music at johndavidmiller.com or yeswise.com as well.
Yes, he's also on YouTube also. So if you want to go support his channel. Yeah. All right. Really good. It's been a delight being with all of you today. And again, I look forward to Sunday service and just to seeing you. And again, as Caroline would say, your presence is enough. And so again, thank you for being here. So let's take, before we go, let's take a moment of silence. You may maybe take into the silence, maybe something that I said, maybe it was something that Carol Ann did in her meditation or that John sung, but just take that into the silence and just be with it. And John will ping us in and ping us out. So the light of God does surround us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us wherever we are. God is, and all is well.
Life is real. Life is true. We are life, living as me and you. Joy is real. Joy is true. We are joy, living as me and you. Peace is real. Peace is true. We are peace, living as me and you. Love is real. Love is true. We are love, living as me and you. Living as me and you.
Thank you all for being with us today. And Hannah, if you could take us offline.